So good evening. Good evening to everyone. We are beginning our meeting in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. And we pray that God will grant us the necessary wisdom to understand whatever discussions we are going to go through, and then we take the right steps and the right decision. So on this note, we are all Bobus and Pogas. Others might have joined, but we will want to make sure that we understand we are in control of our finances. So on this note, I would want to ask Madam Efua from Enterprise to just take the page and then kickstart with our presentation. Thank you. Hello, Efua.
Hello, good evening. I'm trying to get my colleague to make me the host so that we could start. Good evening to everybody.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Okay. I like the prayer that we started with, that God should give us the ability to understand everything. So I pray that that happens tonight. And I get a lot of questions from everybody. My name is Efua Boahima Osu. And a point of correction, I work for a corporate agency of Enterprise Life called Assure Advisors. Okay. So when I say corporate agency, I mean we are licensed by the National Insurance Commission to just sell for Enterprise Life all the policies of Enterprise Life. And so that is why we were the intermediary to sell the alumni package to the group. Apart from that, we also launched the product with Enterprise Life almost 2 years ago. So that's Assure Advisors. Apart from selling life, we also do sell general insurance with Star Assurance. And we have a product with them called the Star Personal Guard, and then the Stock Assurance. And then we do have the health insurance unit that sells private health schemes to families, individuals, and companies. The department I love to talk most about is the claims department, because we handle all the claims of our clients and our prospective clients. So that is us in summary. Before I start my presentation, which is going to be on financial wisdom as you age, the role of insurance. I think most of us here will be around, if I'm not wrong, with the aluminum policy, will be around 45, 46, and 44. So we are at that age where financial planning is extremely important to us. Before we start, I'd like my colleague to put up a poll. I just want to know the kind of audience I have, so that I know how to direct.
Hello, you went off. We didn't hear you.
At which point did I go off, please? If someone could help me. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Please, can you hear me? Please, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Could be for maybe their network.
Okay, can I have by hands those who can hear me, please? Okay, Anne says I can be heard. So I'll start again. At least it's very important I introduce myself. So my name is Efua Boahima Osu. I work for... Hello, Irene? Please, can you kindly put it in the chat so that we could read, please? Okay, so I can continue, please. My colleague will share with us a poll that we've come up with. The poll is going to help us really ascertain the kind of audience we have. So Richard, if you could kindly share the poll with us. Okay. Okay. Please, can I see, we have about 35 people online, so I'll be very glad if you could answer this question, please. Okay, we have 17 people who've answered the poll. Please, can we have everybody participate?
Please, someone was asking where the question is.
Okay, the question says, do you have any form of insurance, excluding motor insurance? It's there. And then we have the answers as yes and no. So far we have 18 people out of 23 saying yes, and 5 out of 23 saying no. We have about 13 more people to go. We have 78% of attendance answering the poll. Okay. I think 78% is good enough. So here we have 18 people saying they have one kind of insurance. And then we have 5 people saying they don't have any kind of insurance apart from motor. Okay. So I'll end this poll and then I'm sharing the results. I'm going to ask another poll. Okay. I'm trying to share the other poll. So the second poll says, kindly take which policy you have. We have life insurance, health insurance, home insurance, personal insurance. Okay, we just have 20 people who've answered the poll. Okay, so I think I'm going to end the poll now. We have 21 people who've answered the poll out of 34. in attendance. We have 14 people who say they have a life insurance policy. We have 9 who have health. Then we just have 2 out of the 22 people who have a home insurance. And we have 7 people out of the 22 that have personal insurance. Okay, so thank you. So we go back to the presentation. And thank you very much for answering the poll. It gives me a clear idea, the kind of audience I have. Today's presentation, I'll try and make it very simple and short so that we would rather have a very interactive section. The outline is going to be very simple. It's going to be introduction to the topic. We are going to understand financial wisdom, then the life stages of financial planning, what we should do at each stage, then the role of insurance across the different life stages, the types of insurance and their significance, what we need, what we don't need at any point in time, then the factors to consider when you're choosing insurance, and then the financial wisdom and risk mitigation factors. And then we'll end by talking about strategies for smart insurance decisions. The only way to be truly financially secure is to have a multiple stream of income. I always see this on social media, a table with 4 legs, and then they say you can't survive on one income. I guess that's what Suez Oman is saying, that the only way to be truly financially secure is to have a multiple streams of income. Then the definition of financial wisdom, making prudent decisions that secure one's financial future, and the factors influencing financial wisdom. And the factors can range from age to life stage to risk tolerance. I mean, in insurance, we say some people really love risk, some people are indifferent, and some people run when they hear the word risk. And then financial goals. Now, when we are born, I mean, most of the time it's our parents who are looking after us. So it's not really a big deal. When we get into the teens, we start thinking about vacation. We start thinking about education. Where am I going to go to school? What am I learning? How difficult education is. So at that stage, financial planning is not really part of what we are thinking about. And then we move into the 20s, and then we start establishing our career. Then occupation comes in. You need a job, we need to secure a job. Then we move into our 30s, and then we start thinking about housing. And where are we going to stay? We want to get married. Are we going to open our own business? And all those things fall into place. Then we move into the 50s, where our kids start getting into the teenage ages. We have to establish some estate planning. How many houses do we have? Have we secured ourselves? Do we have enough money in the account? What happens when we lose our income? What happens if a partner dies? The children are going to the colleges, they are going to the universities. What kind of income do we have to support them? Then we get into the 50s, where some of us, our children are getting out of the house, so it's becoming the emptiness. So we start thinking about retirement, vacation. How are we spending that with our spouses? Are we going somewhere with them? Do we have enough money for our pension? And then we get into the pension age. Then it hits us. Are we prepared for pension? Are we secured? Can we live comfortably after the age of 60? Or do we need to depend on someone? Those are the stages of our financial planning. I mean, these stages can be really challenging. And I always say that you think the years are not coming, but they are coming. Every day you get up, you are getting closer to the age of 60. And so every stage is great planning. I saw a course in one of the UK high school financial courses, and it amazed me to know that 14 years and 13 years and 15-year-old students were being taught financial planning, how to compare credit cards, how important it is to invest in real estate, etc., etc. And I was telling my colleagues, wow, that is amazing, because here in Ghana, most of us at that teenage age know nothing about investment, and all we are thinking about is what our parents are going to buy for us. By the time we get to 30s, 40s, that is when we start thinking about how have we invested. So I think it's a very important topic we need to start discussing, even with our kids at a very early age. Okay. Now, to my specialty, insurance. What do we need at different stages? When you have started a career, you're in 20s, what do you need? You need to start planning your life. You need to put aside something for your future. So it's important you start putting, even if it's 20 Cs, you start putting it aside, because you're young adults entering into the workforce. What do you need? You might be planning to buy a house. You might be planning to buy a car. You are thinking about getting married. You are thinking about having a wedding. So at that point, income protection becomes very important. You need to save, so you have to invest so that you are able to get enough money to do that. Then you move into the 30s, where you are married and you started having kids. Have you saved enough money for that stage? If you haven't, then you have to start thinking about education policy. You have to start thinking, if you have lost your job, what happens to your partner? In case your wife isn't working, what happens to her? That means that it's very important you have some income protection policy right there. And you talk about your house. You bought your brand new house, maybe very early, 33, 34. Have you safeguarded the house? Do you have a home insurance? Do you have content for the house, or it's just there, you do not care? What happens if the place gets burnt? I remember I had a client who was in the house, in the office, when he was told that his house was burning. By the time he got to his house, half the house was gone. But luckily for him, he has a home insurance. So quickly, he was able to start putting something together. He had extension of rent, so he was catered for 6 months whilst his house was being put back. So in this case, it means that he didn't have to go into his savings to take out his savings and to build again. He had that for insurance. Do you have a personal accident policy? When you become permanently disabled, what happens? Do you have to go into your accounts and take out money? It's important. Because as much as it's important for us to save, it is also very important for us to ensure that we use that saving for exactly what we saved it for. We are not supposed to go and take that money and do anything with it. Do you have aging parents at that age? Maybe at the age of 30, it means your parents are getting close to 60, 65. What happens to them when they go on retirement? Are you ready? Are you prepared to take care of them? Do they have health insurance that they don't have to fall on you when you need insurance? All that are things at this stage you have to start thinking about. Then you get to the big 40s and early 50s, where you have established yourself. You know the kind of job you are doing. Your kids might probably be entering into their teens. Have you secured your income? There's something called the family income protection. Have you secured that, so that in case you wake up one day, you do not have a job, you have something to fall on? Or you wake up one day and you have stroke. Are you ready for it? I mean, nowadays I hear a lot of people they just die with no, are you prepared for that? If you are no more there, is your wife capable of taking care of the family as if you were still alive? Working individuals with aged parents, I think I've spoken about that. For me, I think this is so important. I remember my mom some time ago when you go and visit her and you could see she's ill, you say, why didn't you go to the hospital? oh, I didn't want to worry you. I mean, you are working. The last time I worried you, so this time I didn't want to call you. So we came up as siblings to get her health insurance card. And she's been on it for about 14, 15 years. And it gives her peace of mind. It gives us peace of mind. So it means that when she needs to go to the hospital, she doesn't have to fall on us to go to the hospital. She just gets up, takes her card, she goes to any of the facilities she wants, she gets treated, she comes back home. The only way I would know she's been to the hospital is the text message I receive on my phone. It's important. Aged parents, meaning that they are getting closer to death. Are you ready for them? Are you ready when they die, or you would have to fall on your savings? I mean, it's a topic most of us, we don't want to hear, but it's reality. Everybody will die. So we need to be prepared. Then you get to your retiree age. Do you have that income to live a comfortable life? Some of us think about today and never think about tomorrow. When tomorrow happens, are you prepared for what is ahead of you? Or you are going to be falling on your kids, your children who at that age might be 20 now starting their career to look after you. So it's something we have to think about. The different types of insurance we have. We have the life insurance that can range from the death policies that in Ghana we say the funeral policies. You can have the income protection policies. You can have the investment embedded policies. Then we talk about the health policies. Health is becoming a very popular thing now in Ghana because for about 2 years now, health has increased dramatically, over 350% in terms of medicine. So people have started really purchasing private health insurance policies. Then we have the disability insurance, which we call it a personal accident. And I see only 7 people out of 21 have that. Personal policies are important. In the motor insurance we have in Ghana, our personal accidents cover at 7,000, meaning that when you drive, even if it's comprehensive and you have an accident and you get hit, you have up to 7,000 to claim from the insurance company. And what happens if your injury is very serious? It means you need to find your own money to top up. And so it's important we all start thinking about personal insurance policies. Then we have the auto insurance, which is compulsory. So I don't like talking about it too much because everybody knows about it. But the law says every car should have at least the third-party insurance. So that's for auto. Then we have home insurance. Home insurance, we have only 2 people out of the 21 who has a form of home insurance. As I said in my presentation, home insurance is one of the most important things. A lot of my clients will say insurance is so expensive, and I tell them that the most expensive insurance you will get is motor insurance. The rest are pretty cheap. They are cheap because the probability of your house burning is low. So really, home insurance is one of the cheapest things you can have, and you can insure home. If you are renting, then we are talking about content insurance. You can have your content insurance. Then we talk about the travel insurance. That is also a very important policy and a very cheap policy, very reasonable one. Anytime you're traveling out of the country, you can have a travel insurance. When you get there and you should find yourself in hospital, the travel insurance comes very handy. Last year, I got plenty claims from travel insurance where people traveled, some slipped on an escalator, they had to go to the hospital. Someone had an emergency medical issue, was sent to the hospital and was treated for it and paid by travel insurance. So that's a very, very important policy. There's so many other policies that I haven't spoken about, but I'm sure when we start the discussion, we can talk about that. Okay. Key factors to consider when you're choosing insurance. Most of the time, we don't read the little wording because we say it's filled with things we do not understand. But the first thing you have to do, you have to assess your specific needs. Do I need a home insurance? If I'm renting, as I said, then I need a content insurance, not a home insurance. Do I need a private health card? I have one for my company. Then of course you don't need that. You are okay. Do I need a personal accident cover? You have to look at your policies. Do you have one, or you are just relying on the auto insurance? If you don't have one, then it means you need one, because personal accident is something that happens all the time. Then you need to understand the coverage options and what it covers and what it doesn't cover. And it's very, very important that you should understand that. For home, it's the easiest one I can use. What does it cover? It covers fire, it covers flood, it covers storm, lightning. Yes, then you understand that this is what you have for your cover. Then you evaluate the reputation and financial stability of the insurance provider. If you have an intermediary, it's going to be a pretty simple thing to do. Then review your policy terms and conditions. Today I visited a client and I spent over 2-3 hours with the client going through the terms and conditions. And some of the wording is pretty tedious, but yes, you need to review them. And sometimes at the end of the year, you need to come back and say, is the value of my house the same if I have to rebuild it today? The dollar is now, I think, 12.9. If you put up your house when the dollar was 2, then you should understand that the exchange rate has affected the value of your house. So today, if you have to put up the house again, that means that you need an extra 10.6 cedis to $1 to do that. So your value has increased. Then you seek expert advice. Okay. Insurance as a risk management tool, mitigating financial risk associated with health, property, and longevity. That is what insurance does. Insurance is a risk mitigation tool. It gives you total peace of mind, reducing the stress and uncertainty by having the safety net. If you know that you have a health insurance card, you are not worried, because you know that when something happens to you and you do not have money, you can drive to the hospital and you can get care. I remember I visited my daughter in school once, and she said she had a problem with her ears. Honestly, I didn't have any money in my bag. I was wondering, what am I going to do? I drove straight to Nyaho, took out my card, and she was attended to. And then I took her straight back to school. And I was telling my sister, that is the essence of health insurance card. And then we talk about the long-term financial planning. You do not need to go and take the money in your bank account to do things you are not supposed to do. And that money in account is for a specific reason, and let's leave it there for that specific reason, for the traveling we want to do when we are on retirement, for the good life we want. And let's have other financial planning tools to do other things. So supporting overall financial stability and wealth preservation. Okay. Strategies for smart insurance decision. You need to review your policy every year. I cannot say that enough times. It is so important. Re-evaluating your insurance needs as life circumstances change. I meet a lot of people who tell me, oh, I took my life insurance policy when I was working and I was 20 years old, and now I don't even know what it looks like. You go and check the benefits, and the benefit is 5,000 for funeral. And what is 5,000 going to do today? It's nothing. So at least you need to evaluate your policy and look at the benefit as your circumstances changes. It's very important. If you were renting a house and you had a content insurance, now you have bought a house, it means that you need a home insurance and a content insurance. If you used to drive a small car and you didn't think it was important to have a comprehensive car, and now you have a Range Rover, then possibly you have to start thinking about comprehensive. Exploring discounts by combining multiple insurance policies. Yes, that's possible. You can do that. Like the fleet discounts, when you have more than 5 cars with an insurance company, you can have a discount on it. Then seeking professional advice, consulting financial advisors for personalized guidance. So you have to seek professional advice so that you can always have the best policy possible and you're not left out. Okay. So thank you so much. I'm going to open for chat, but before then, I want you to put your questions down. I'll let Richard just play one advert and then we'll come back. You can put the questions also in the chat and we can take questions and have a discussion. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Edu Opari Ado, and I'm representing the Presec 94-96 year group. Here to share our overall customer experience working with Assured Group. So as a group, we purchased a group funeral policy through Assured Advisors. And I'm more than happy to report that our overall customer experience has been exceptional. Of course, we went into this not having done anything like this before as a group. And the level of transparency right from the beginning, the level of professionalism, you could tell this was a company with a difference. The level of attention to detail, all of these things, through the beginning, up until when we enrolled all our members, was just exceptional. Now, by the end of that year, we had made a handful of claims. In fact, we'd made about 6 claims by the end of the year. And I'm more than happy to report that each one of those claims was successful. And the promptness with which payments were made is just unbelievable. It's just a matter of days between the time where we submitted the necessary documents to when we received payments. Now, that's exceptional at every level. There weren't any red tape to cut through, no unnecessary hoops to jump through, and everything just worked.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Richard. I think Richard decided to let the video go off. Please open for questions, please, and discussion. Hello?
Yes.
Please, questions, please. Hello, Quinn.
Hello, please. If we have any questions, let's ask and get the clarity we need.
Okay.
Anything you aren't sure of, please come out and let's ask.
Okay. I think someone has asked a question, Anne. And Anne says, thanks for the presentation. I would like to know the minimum number of people that can start the year group insurance. Thank you. Okay, the minimum number of people who can start is 20. So it's 20. The alumni package is a bundled product. I'll let Richard post a link on the chat. If you want to know more, you can kindly just put your number on and I will get one of my colleagues to call you tomorrow. And I think Richard had posted it there, but the minimum number of people we need to start the group alumni policy is 20. Is there an age limit to life insurance? Enterprise Life has an unlimited policy that does not have an age limit. So the answer to that is no, but some of the policies, yes, you have an age limit. Again, for the life insurance policies, what I say is because they are a bit detailed, we would always request that a life planner comes to sit with you and properly explains all the different types of policies we have to you, from the funeral policy, which you get a cash benefit, to the transition policy, which is a service policy, meaning that they will give you the caskets, they'll give you the haze, they'll give you the chapel. That's a service product. To the income protection one, they would explain everything to you so that you are better placed to take a very informed decision. So if you are interested in that, you can still put your number there, and I would distribute the numbers and give it to the right people to call. Richard would also put my number out so that if you want to contact, yes, I'm available on WhatsApp or on a call. So Richard, kindly put my number out. The next one is for more info. Okay, that's from Richard. And this is from Share Master. Do you have a policy that covers all risk? Please, when you say all risk, I would love you to further explain what you mean by all risk. Are you talking about the life, or are you talking about life, home, travel, health, everything together, so that I can answer that, please? Share Master. Hello. Share Master. Queen, no one wants to talk. Okay, so I have another question. Thank you very much for that. Please, thank you, patient. I'm grateful. Please, do you have an office in Ho in the Volta region? Yes, Enterprise Life does, and Star Assurance does. So just send me your number. I would organize for someone to call you and come and see you. Nowadays, insurance, we stopped doing the office service where we expect the clients to come. We would rather come to you. So please feel free and just leave your number. I'll let someone come and see you so that you can have a discussion with the person. Okay. Thank you, AC. Richard, kindly put down the number for me. I'll give you a call tomorrow. What is the age limit for health insurance, if any? Okay. So for the health insurance, it depends again on the insurance company. We have some of the companies that do the individual policies. We have some who do not do the individual policy, but do corporate. We have some that do family. Some of them would have an age limit of 65. For the older ones, the individual ones, I think it goes up to 70, if I'm not wrong, and it comes with different prices. So yes, we have some age limits on the health insurance. Okay. For parents over 70, are they qualified for health? Sometimes the insurance companies will not accept them depending on the medical condition or the existing medical condition of the person. I don't want to say no, because I've seen cases where they take them. My mom is 78 and she has a health insurance card. So that's why I'm being very careful by not saying no. So please, again, I think a conversation would help where we can talk to the insurance company and they can decide whether they would take the risk or not. Okay, I always say that as for insurance, there's nothing like no. And the conversation is important. When we have the conversation, we can be better placed to say yes or no. Okay, Selassie, I'm taking your number and I'll call. I like the way everybody's sending me message. No one is talking. I'm just getting the whole chat full of messages. I would love to hear someone's voice. Queen, Esther.
Yes, darling.
Are you encouraging someone to talk? Because I have so many messages coming. No one is talking.
I think we'll just let them know that Bhobu Poga Welfare Society has alumni, it's on board. And so this is the opportunity for us to all improve our financial strength. So please, soldiers and pretty gems, ask all the questions, because this is the Ogboro. We've brought her to your doorsteps. So please, all the questions you aren't too sure of, just ask now.
Okay, Esther, what I'll do is I think my colleague Pamela is online, so I'll let her help you with the telephone numbers and keep them so that I can answer the questions. Okay, I hear someone has raised their hands. Esther, I don't know whether you see it. Okay, Joe. So, please, Joe.
Okay, so it's AC Joe.
AC.
Yeah. We've had several insurance companies to our office, each trying to sell their policy. And what normally happens is the individual staff who have some kind of link with these companies will be advising you as to join this one, and this one will also be pulling you to join that one. So I'm just, because you want to hear my voice, I'm transferring what I posted so you can hear my voice. So I want to know what exactly you should be looking for instance, in a health policy.
Okay, thank you. With a health policy, that's one of my most favorite policies. You need to look at the limits. Okay. If you're not careful, you take a policy and then, okay, let me give a very dramatic example so that, someone gets stroke, the person has a health insurance card, the person gets to the hospital, the person has to undergo operation. Okay, so the person does 1, 2, it goes back for operation, the person needs blood, the person needs this and that. And then after going through everything, the bill comes and the health insurance company says, okay, I have a limit for surgery. Joe, you understand? The limit for surgery is 2,000. But the person has gone into the hospital 3 times for surgery. It means that your health insurance card is not going to be able to cater for that. So they'll pay just 2,000, you have to pay the rest. You have in-house outpatient consultation. You know that if you have an outpatient consultation and you go to an expensive hospital, if you should have a limit of 3,000, you know that that will not work for you. So it means that that package is not good for you. Okay. You have eye limits, optical limits. You wear spectacles, you know the kind of limits you have. Those are the things you need to. That's why I was saying the presentation, you need to understand your circumstance so that when they come and sit in front of you and they are selling to you, you understand exactly what you are buying and the kind of questions you need to ask. Okay, so it's important. So in the health, there's always limits. Some of them, they'll say up to the outpatient limits. Then you know that whatever the outpatient limit is, that's what you get for the same thing. Okay.
Then my other question is to, I want you to take it in good faith, but I would like to know the owners of enterprise insurance.
I don't work directly with enterprise. I work with Assure Advisors.
Oh, okay, okay.
But I know they have an American partner called Pru Life. Okay, so yeah.
Okay, right. Thank you.
Don't mention. Okay, the next question I have from Sena is, do you provide educational insurance? Yes, there is educational insurance. So again, if you are interested, you can just drop your number and I'll get someone to do that. We have had campaigns on, okay, Joe, that's your question. So I'm sure I've answered it. And you can Joe, you can drop your number or you can take my number, whichever one you want to do. And I'll be willing to answer any more questions you have.
Yeah,
Hello.
I've dropped my number.
You drop your number. Perfect.
Yeah,
I'll pick it up.
that Joe is AC.
AC, okay.
Yeah, AC with the double SIE. Okay.
Nice.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So please, I'll wait for your number so that I can pick it up. Okay. Okay. Any more questions? Okay, let me ask a question. Well, I can say everybody's quiet. How many of you know that when you take your car to a mechanic shop and you leave it there, it is not insured? It does not cover, your comprehensive insurance does not cover it.
It's a question. I had a very bad experience recently. I took my car to the mechanic shop, and then instead of making it better, they rather had an accident with it.
Yes.
So there.
Hello?
Yes, so they had an accident with it, and then they can't, there's there's no way you can claim anything except to probably force them to repay it for you through their own means.
Yes, because when it gets to a mechanic shop, it fails to be a motor vehicle on the road. It becomes like a plant and machinery. So we expected the mechanic shop to have insurance. And today I was telling my client I was doing the insurance, going through the policy and documents with. I told her that in the exclusions, anytime you see some of these exclusions, it means it has another policy to cover the exclusion. So you can see, for example, it will say exclusion, flood, fire, storm. Then immediately you know that you need a fire insurance policy to cover that if you are open to that kind of risk. And it's the same as when you drive your car and you park it on a roadway and a train hits it. It's an irresponsible behavior, and so the insurance company will not pay for it. Okay, so we need to be very mindful of these little things. Okay. Irene, okay. Enterprise insurance is very good. Oh, thank you. I did some for my mom, but she passed exactly a year. I enrolled her and believe she had a real befitting burial. And I will never forget. Kudos to you. Oh, thank you very much. That's a nice testimony. Thank you, thank you. I must say the transition policy is one of my favorites. And so if you haven't never thought of it, you should. It gives you a peace of mind. I mean, when we have clients who, and when they are bereaved, they just call transition. Transition picks up the body, takes it to transition, and gets the certificate, clean up the body, puts the body in the fridge whilst you are just at home, just relaxing. You have cases where people are bereaved and they are running around 37 children hospital, Kolebu, looking for a place to bury, to keep their beloved one. So it's something we need to look at. And Maria, please, your question. Maria. Hello, Maria. I think Maria is not available. Okay. How long does it take to qualify for death insurance? How long do you have to contribute to enjoy? Okay, it also depends on the policy. Some of them is 6 months, some of them is 3 months, some of them is immediate. So it all depends on the policy you are interested in taking. For the group life policies, it's immediate. Okay. So a colleague have answered for me. For death, it has a 6-month period. Thank you very much. Okay. It's nice to have teammates with you. They quickly answer the questions for you, so they help me. So, and please, team members, you answer the questions for me. Please, Anne, please, you said it's news to you. Please, which policy so that I can better explain? Anne?
Yeah, no, it was when you said when you send your car to the mechanic,
Oh,
it's not covered. I said this is news to me. Yeah,
oh,
that was when
okay.
I reacted. Yeah.
Okay, and I
Thanks.
thought Serati said, oh no. Okay, so I think I had someone answer it for me. But you need to be very careful, okay? Yeah, because
Hi, this is Maria.
yes, please.
I was trying to figure out how to get off mute. So when you were calling me, I'm like, how do you do this thing? How do you do this? So I'm sorry about that. And most of the Poga members know me as Madui. So this is Maduite. I didn't join from the onset, so I really didn't get a whole lot of details. But we're kind of interested in the life insurance. And is the life insurance, does that include the death insurance, or is death insurance a different thing entirely to having a life insurance policy? I don't know if my question.
Are you, yes, I understand. Are you in Ghana?
No.
Yes, yes. Okay. So in Ghana, when we say life insurance, we mean death insurance, basically.
Okay.
But in the US and the UK, when you say life insurance, you are talking about the whole life or the term life, or
Exactly.
Yes, but when we say life insurance, we are talking about death. That's all we know. We understand the funeral policies,
Okay.
But if you are outside, we do have what we call the Aquintupa policy, which my colleague, Pamela, quite good at it. That is specifically developed for the Ghanaians in the diaspora who have family members back home. If you put your number there, Pamela will definitely get in touch with you. So,
okay, I would do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Yes, the terms and conditions are always very small, so that you need me to come and read them and explain it to you. So please. Otherwise, I'll become redundant. Then now you understand. Anna.
But some things hidden in there that we have to be aware of. The phone term T's and C's are same, and they tell us there are things hidden in there.
Yes, and that is where I become useful. Everything, when it becomes big, then I become irrelevant. I become redundant. So I encourage them to do it very small, and then I become. But anyway, I do understand. I mean, a lot of people complain about that, and it becomes very difficult to read, and that is where we get a lot of issues, because if you can't read, you don't understand. There are lots of notification periods where we say you need to notify us within a certain period. If you do not, then your premium, your policy, your claim can be repudiated. I mean, all those things are important to know. So yes, I agree with you. The font has to be a bit bigger than it is. Then yes, okay. Someone is agreeing to the T's and the C's. Can you make 1 year advance payment for a funeral policy? Yes, please, you can. And actually, when you do, you get a discount. So, yes, you can. Maria, please, is the number a US one? And I'll be happy if you help me with that.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Loretta, what insurance do you suggest for a person who has about 12 years to retire, to add up to what he would be doing, getting from SNET? Oh, okay, brilliant. You can do the income protection policy. No, there's a policy, the investment policy. And Pamela, am I right? There's a policy called the investment policy. Is Pamela on? Richard, who is on? Is it Pamela or Akusia? Okay.
I'm
Pamela.
on.
Yes,
investment policy.
the
Correct.
investment policy. Yes, you can do that. It has a term policy of 7 years, so you can do that, and then after 7 years, you can get your money and add. Or you can take a personal pension scheme, tier 3. I personally have one where you can contribute personally, and then upon retirement, you can have the benefits. So yes, you can do that. Loretta, is that okay? Pamela, you can send your number to Loretta, please, so that you can have a conversation with her. So yes, you can do the investment policy, and then you can do the tier 3. At a group, you can even do the tier 3, where everybody will have their own personal number, and then you can contribute every month towards your pension.
So can we in the diaspora also do the tier 3?
Yes, you can, please.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, Loretta, thank you for your number. I will get Pamela to call you, or Akosia, one of them. Okay, I think the question in the chat box is finished. Do we have any more questions?
Okay, I want to ask about professionals and insurance.
Professionals in insurance.
Mm.
What does that like?
So, for instance, an architect is has an obligation to take an insurance.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yes.
How?
So that comes to the compulsory insurances. We have some compulsory insurances. Apart from the motor, we have the workman compensation that states that all workers, all employers should take a workman compensation policy for their employees. We also have the professional indemnity policy that mandates professionals to insure their lives against any issues that would arise to legal, going to court and litigate. How should I ask? I mean, the word is not coming. So, something like the doctors, the lawyers, the architects, anyone who advises people who is a professional. Yes, it's mandatory to have a professional indemnity. Now, we see a lot of the doctors taking it, because people have become quite.
So, per your data, the doctors are more into taking this insurance
The
compared
lawyers too, last year, the lawyers actually were trained on professional indemnity. So we've also seen an uptake in lawyers. But it is mandatory. It's become a compulsory policy. So if you're a professional and you know that you are open or you are at risk, then yes, you should take it. And all these
so we'll
policies are not
later. Okay.
I think.
I said we'll talk later on the matter. Yes.
Yes, please, you can just drop your number and
my number is there, AC Josephine. AC Joe, as I said earlier.
Okay.
Yeah,
AC with a double S.
Yes, please.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you. What of lectures? Please. Are you hoping your students will take you to court?
That is why I came up to listen.
Pardon? I haven't seen any lecturers really taking professional indemnity yet. So, but you can have the individual policies if you like, the income protection one, etc. You can have. Okay. Okay. Any more questions, please? Hello.
Yes, if what want to know whether there are the policy for kids.
For what,
I
please?
have kids. I have 3 teenagers.
Okay. Yes, yes. We have the educational policy.
Apart from that, I have the educational policy for them already.
Okay, you can actually have a tier 3 for them, where you can save for them to maybe at age of 25 and give them the money. You know, outside they do that a lot, the trust accounts. So you can actually do that for your kids.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, then you can also do the personal insurance, you know, the personal accident cover for their up and down, you know, sitting in the car, going to school, up. You can have the health insurance card for them, just in case they are in school and they need to go to the hospital and no one is ready to go and spend money. At least they have the card to take them to school, to the hospital. So you can have that for them.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. We'll be talking.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Thank you. So if there are no more questions, please feel free and drop your number. Oh, what is the minimum contribution for tier 3? I think it's open to what you are capable of or you are willing to contribute. It can be as little as 50 cedis, 100 cedis, 150. I mean, what you are comfortable of doing every month. As a year group, you can come together and decide that you're encouraging everybody to save. So let's have a group tier 3 pension scheme. We can organize that for you. In our office, we've done that. So that is a personal savings we've done, and we've encouraged everybody to do that. The average age in our office is around, I think I'm the oldest. No, not the oldest, but one of the oldest. I'm proud to say that. And so we have a very young team, and we've encouraged them up tier 3. So we do that, and they do a voluntary contribution every month into the scheme. Thank you, Joe. I enjoyed the presentation too. And I'm very grateful for all the questions. Nicholas. Nicholas. Okay. Nico baby. Please, did you want to ask a question? Okay, thank you, Anne. Okay, I would call you tomorrow, Anne, to have the discussion.
Please, let's make it Friday. Tomorrow is very busy for me.
Okay,
Thanks.
so Friday. I'll put it down. Friday, I'll call you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
Okay, there's another question. Precious. Please, that went off. Can I see? Okay, Precious. Does this also go with a minimum of 20 participants if it is for a group of workers? No, please. The alumni is the one that goes with the 20 participants, but one is a group of workers. It's of the alumni, and so we'll rate it differently. The minimum there is 10 for the group. Maria, please, where do you want me to call you?
Hey,
Or I'll send you a WhatsApp since you are not in Ghana.
yeah, okay. Send me a WhatsApp and then we can arrange that.
Yes, please.
Actually, I have somebody else who is interested, so I want to loop her in as well, so that it will be one conversation and you wouldn't have to repeat yourself.
Okay, I'll do that. Okay, I'll do that. Thank you. Okay. Who do we contact for any further assistance? You can just drop, Richard, kindly drop the link again and my number. I will drop my number here. You can kindly just give me a call. Or you can also contact Esther. Esther has my number. and I'm sure she's willing to share it with everybody. Maybe Esther, you can share my number on the page so that if anyone wants to call me, they can call me.
Thank you. I'll do that.
Okay, I'll send you a profile. You can put it there, then everybody can contact me. I'm willing to.
Sure. That's good. Okay, so thank you very much for your time, and we are very, very grateful.
Thank you.
And I think currently, I must testify, we had a member losing the father, and within 5 days, I think it's been 7 days, we have our benefit being paid. So
right.
It's good. You are doing great.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. And I will encourage all Bobus and Pogas, as you listen, please, let's come on board and put our contributions together. And at least we can't do for all the policies, but we'll be able to do for the funeral policy and disability policy, because those ones are events that we don't have much control over. So thank you, Ifwa, and thanks to everyone who was able to join. May God bless us and give us a good night.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
We'll continue the rest on the page.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye. Thanks for everything.
Bye.
You are not a God created by human hands. You are not a God dependent on any mortal man. You are not a God in need of anything we can give by your plan. That's just the way it is. You are not a God created by human hands. You are not a God dependent on any mortal man. You are not a God in need of anything we can give by your plan. That's just the way it is. You are